Hey everyone, my name is Ozzy, and today's words of wisdom come from a man named C.S. Lewis. This is from his book, Mere Christianity, and it's right at the end of his chapter discussing sexual morality. He says, if anyone thinks that Christians regard unchastity or sexual immorality as the supreme vice, he is quite wrong. The sins of the flesh are bad, but they are the least bad of all sins. All the worst pleasures are purely spiritual. The pleasure of putting other people in the wrong, of bossing and patronizing and spoiling sport and backbiting, the pleasures of power and of hatred. For there are two things inside me, competing with the human self, which I must try to become. They are the animal self and the diabolical self. The diabolical self is the worst of the two. That is why a cold, self-righteous prig who goes regularly to church may be far nearer to hell than a prostitute. But of course, it is better to be neither. This is a really good reminder for us today. I think it's important to remember that when Jesus entered into his ministry, he was the harshest against the traditional God-fearers, the religious people, the people in the church, the leaders of the church. And he had a lot of hard words for people living in sin too, but more often than not, he gave them grace and called them to repentance. And I think that's really important to remember, because the way one person put it to me is, if your life is like a road and your life story, your plan of salvation is driving down that road, it doesn't matter how far down that road you get. The ditch is still the same distance on either side. Doesn't matter if you are a fresh Christian or you are a spiritual leader and have been for decades. You are no further away from the possibility of destroying your life and the possibility of falling into sin. And so in that sense, you're no better off than someone who is much newer to the faith than you are. So be kind, be gracious, be humble, and let's be careful not to patronize more obvious sins and let the truly evil sins that are less obvious slide into our lives.